right, hello everybody. You're probably waking up, if you haven't already awakened, to the storm that's coming into Fairview right now along Highway 100. This storm does have a tornado warning with it. Earlier, it had a confirmed tornado with it, and definitely is still showing signs of rotation. This is a supercell thunderstorm, and it continues to come out of Hickman County and is moving along Highway 100 into Fairview. Now, Fairview, the greatest circulation is to the south of the core of Fairview. It is over Prim Springs, pretty much a carbon copy of where it went a couple of days ago, where the tornado warning went a couple of days ago. And it continues to move toward the east. The circulation is crossing over near Craig Field. This is Pinewood Road right here. There's 840, there's Pewitt Road. So it's going to pass over, it's already passed over Shoals Branch. It's passed over Westlet Creek, and it's moving toward 840 and Pinewood Road, and is near the intersection, approaching the intersection of Pewitt Road and Pinewood Road. Again, it has had a history of producing tornadoes, one over Perry County. I've had some reports of a potential touchdown in Hickman County. All right, so now it's crossing Pinewood Road near Pewitt Road. Pinewood Road near Pewitt Road, and it is moving east. It is moving directly toward Franklin if it stays on its current track. So if you are in these areas, you need to make sure that you are prepared. Now, Franklin, right now, you are not in the tornado warning. The National Weather Service will decide if they're going to issue a tornado warning very shortly for Franklin. This cell is definitely rotating as it's moving off toward the east. It has had a history of producing some damage, or it looks like it did back in Perry County as it was coming over there. There's nearly continuous lightning with it, so it's got a definite healthy updraft as it's moving off toward the east. Looking at the, we've got tennis ball size hail a little earlier with at Highway 100 and Pinewood Road. All right. So the National Weather Service is continuing the warning. It now includes the city of Franklin. So the Weather Service says that rotation has weakened from what it was a little earlier, but still the Weather Service is concerned about it, and it could go through a cycle and strengthen again. So now it's about to go across Kingfield. It's running along Pewitt Road, headed toward Kingfield, and will be moving across Old Highway 96 at Kingfield, and then its next area. There's the tornado warning for where I am. All right. So it's coming out of Prim Springs now, has moved across 840, and is moving toward Kingfield. You can see this is a classic hook-shaped supercell thunderstorm. It's got a nearly continuous amount of lightning with it. And if you live now in Franklin, you need to have heads up. This storm is coming towards you. It is going to take very similar track that the storm a couple of days ago took, coming into the west side of Franklin. Again, the rotation has weakened a little bit from what it was earlier, but it's still visible right there. It's going right over Fernvale, Kingfield and Fernvale. And there were signs earlier that it had some debris with it. Let's see, this looks like it could be, it's not matching up with where the rotation is the strong. Yeah, so that's, this is still a storm that could have a tornado on the ground. A lot of thunder and lightning with it. So the strongest part of the rotation is going over Fernvale and Kingfield. It is moving toward Highway 96, and it is moving toward the west side of Franklin. So there's your rotation. Let me take a look at it from another radar here. This is also going to transition into a flood threat. Yeah, going over Fernvale toward the east. It's going to cross Highway 96 near Settlers Point, somewhere between Old Hillsboro and Natchez Trace. So if you live at the intersection of Old Hillsboro and Natchez Trace, Old Hillsboro and Highway 96, that's where that storm is going to be crossing over. Switch radars again, just trying to get a better vantage point. So there's your rotation, east of Fernvale, between Fernvale and Highway 96, quickly approaching Highway 96. Let's see what we're getting. We're getting a lot of reports of hail. There was very large hail on the north side of this as it went through Fairview. Ping pong size hail at Highway 100 and Cox Pike. Let's see. I hear the tornado sirens, I guess, probably for Franklin. So a little earlier, the rotation was really tight back over as it came out of Bon Aqua, Centerville area, Bon Aqua. Fairview, you've had some really large hail. Now the rotation again moving into crossing Highway 96. Let's see here. I don't see any tight signs of debris, but again, it had it a little earlier, and that's why they issued a tornado warning with it earlier. So let me take a look here. Yeah, the tornado sirens are going off, it sounds like in Franklin. Listen to the storm splatters. This is a classic supercell thunderstorm. It's got the hook shape to it. Bellevue, you're going to get into some hail with this and some very heavy rain, but it looks like the circulation is going to be passing on the south side of Bellevue, just south of Bellevue. So there's the circulation right in here. Let's see. And it has a history of producing tennis ball size hail. The hail signature has also come down. Likely isn't producing baseball or nearly baseball size hail like it was earlier, but it is still likely going to hail in Bellevue as this storm comes across. The rotation is going to pass, looks like west of Franklin. Now we have a donut hole developing, which is a sign of very strong rotation. Listening for wind. Listening for wind. Hear it as it's approaching my location. So there's your donut hole. That's where the circulation would be. would likely be rain wrapped now. When there's a storm behind it too, coming out of Centerville, we're going to see training of storms with this. So once the storm goes by, there's going to be other storms coming in. And so make sure that you're ready for multiple waves of storms. The first leading storm is the storm that has the history of producing potential tornadoes. Lots and reports of hail in Fairview with this cell. The circulation is right here over Kingfield, again approaching Highway 96. Yeah, this update was 1 minute ago. And when you see those donut holes, that's just a signature on the radar, of very strong circulation. The tornado warning includes Bellevue, includes Forest Hills, it includes Brentwood. It appears that the worst of the circulation is going to be passing to the south, on the south side of Bellevue, between Bellevue and Brentwood, if it continues on its current track. So here's Highway 96. So this is the hook. So I'm in the hook right now, so it's calm. This is where you hear the calm before the tornado. Again, the radar signature with the circulation is not as strong as it was earlier. You need to be in your safe spot. The next place it's going to be crossing over. So right now it's along Old Highway 90. It's on the Natchez Trace, where the Natchez Trace goes over Stillhouse Hollow Road, and it's moving toward Highway 96. Here's Highway 96. So the rotation is going to go like this. Still got the donut hole. The velocity data does not look as strong as it did earlier, but there's your rotation. So on the rotation, it's already passed. It's crossed over Highway 96, or crossing over Highway 96 now, the hook is. Again, a lot of lightning and thunder. The Weather Service is, again, so what's left over of it is about to cross over my house. So the winds are picking up. Got an 18-mile-an-hour wind and picking up. The lightning data, the lightning has calmed too, because I'm in the hook right here. I can hear the wind. Again, the rotation was, okay, it's strengthened again. The rotation looks to be strengthening again. So here's the tornado warning. I think I'm going to go seek shelter as this comes over, and then I'll be right back. All right, so the rotation has passed over my location. It's showing up a little tighter again than it was. It's right in here. So it's going over Hillview Estates. It's going over Sunnyside Estates, going over near the intersection of Barry's Chapel and Hillsborough Road, moving toward Brentwood is where the worst of the is going past right now. So let's see. Looking for any reports of damage here. So again, there's your rotation. There's the cell, there's the hook right here. Still got that donut hole. Looks like the worst is going to be passing to the north of downtown Franklin with this cell. Still probably getting some hail, at least some small hail in Bellevue. May get some small hail in Belmead and Forest Hills as well. There was very large hail with it just a few minutes ago. Covered the ground in Bon Aqua. A lot of hail in Fairview from this as it came across when the rotation went just to the south of Fairview. So when it was back in this area here, back towards Centerville, as it was moving off to the northeast, it really had a strong rotation. I think the rotation's still trying to fill in a little bit. It's not quite as organized as it was. Hearing about damage reports from the Fairview area, or they're looking, the Weather Service is looking for it. Several trees down in and around Cox Pike and Fairview. Yeah, so far that's the only report of damage that we have. There's Fairview right here. So as it came across Fairview, right here, there were reports of some damage here, at least some trees down. This crossed Highway 96. It's passing on the north side of Franklin, again near the intersection of Barry's Chapel and Hillsborough Road. There's the hook. That's where it's circulating. It's rotating strongly enough that it's pulling in dry air, and so it's creating that bend. It's creating that hook into the cell. There's the circulation going into Brentwood right now. There's no confirmation of a tornado on the ground at this moment, but they are going to issue another warning for it. It's going to include areas from Davidson County to the north. It's going to pass very close to the airport. So going through Brentwood now, it's going to track across the southeast corner of Davidson County. It is moving out of Williamson County. So Franklin, this particular cell is now north of you, and it's going to stay north of you. Now we have other cells lined up behind. So we have other storms that are going to be moving up basically across the same areas. You got one going through Centerville now. This is where this storm came out of. And then each one of these cells are showing at least some signs of rotation. This one is showing a sign of rotation around Decaturville. And that's going to be moving up over Linden, where we had a potential tornado earlier. That's going to be moving back into Centerville. All right, so this is the new tornado warning for Davidson County. That is with the cell. So downtown Nashville is likely to not only get heavy rain, but also potential for some hail. You can see the lightning activity is also dropped a little bit. That's a sign that the storm is weakened, but it could be temporary. It could cycle, could be temporary. Temperatures are between 75 and 80 ahead of this storm. So there's plenty of fuel and instability for this cell to work with. But let's read the tornado warning together here. This is for the new tornado warning. Tornado warning for Davidson, southwestern Sumner, northeastern Williamson. I think it's moving out of Williamson County. Northeastern Wilson County. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado over Forest Hills, 8 miles north of Franklin, moving northeast at 45. Again, tornado and golf ball sized hail possible, radar indicated rotation. So the rotation now coming out of Brentwood. Bellevue, the rotation is past you. So if you're watching and you're in Bellevue, the rotation with this storm is past you already. So it's coming through Brentwood. It's going to go through, it's going to cross Interstate 65 near Old Hickory Boulevard. It's going to continue to go east. It's going to cross Old Hickory between the interstate and Edmondson Pike, and then we'll continue moving off toward the northeast. It's going to affect areas Myrtlewood Estates, Huntington Ridge Estates, Whispering Hills, Coalwood Acres, Fair Oaks. Any of those subdivisions are going to be seeing this rotation pass over. And let's take a look. Not showing any strong signs or tight signs of debris in the air at the moment, but the storm is still, it's got the hook and it still has that rotation that's showing up. It's just not as clear as it was. Let me switch to Hopkinsville radar and see if it shows. Yeah, so there's the rotation right there. So this is a little higher up. This is from the Hopkinsville radar, so it's higher up in the storm because the radar is farther away, but it shows a little more clearly where that rotation is. That rotation is going to pass very close to the Nashville radar itself. So a little closer down, this radar is shooting at a lower elevation than this radar. So up high, it still has significant rotation. In the lower levels, the rotation's not as strong. But I also want to note that there's rotation back here, moving back into Wrigley and about to move back into Bon Aqua. There's not a tornado warning with that right now. There is a severe thunderstorm warning with that, but that's going to be coming back into Fairview. So Fairview, you have a severe you have the tornado warning is continuing for Fairview, but the storm that triggered that tornado warning is well northeast of you now, going through Brentwood and headed toward the airport. There's a second cell that's behind it. It does not have a tornado warning with it yet. It does have a severe thunderstorm warning, but it also has at least some weak rotation toward the ground, riding over Wrigley right now on Highway 100. It's going to go next through Lyles and Bon Aqua, and then if it holds together, we'll come back into the Fairview area. So if you live in Fairview, you've got another storm coming, and then another storm behind that as well. So there's a train of storms, and there's a couple more storms back to the southwest that have even stronger rotation back over West Tennessee. So, but let's see. So they're going to be issuing a severe thunderstorm warning for these cells back over West Tennessee too. So here, let me show you. So here's an overview of what's going on with this. There's your lead cell with the tornado warning for Davidson County. There's a second cell with some rotation right here coming out of Bon Aqua that will move into Fairview. There's another cell attached to it back over the Centerville area that could have some rotation with it. Right now, Hickman County is just under severe thunderstorm warning, but we'll have to watch those. This cell coming out of the Decaturville area has rotation with it. That's going to be moving back into the Linden area. And then this cell back over Selmer, these are all just training over the same areas. I'll put this into motion. They're all moving northeast along this boundary that's coming through. We're going to see some very heavy amounts of rain in these areas. And this was pretty much expected, that this line would get to about Nashville and then start to stall out. It may continue pushing off a little to the east and south, but we are going to see some incredibly heavy amounts of rain, 2, 3, maybe 4 inches of rain by the time these cells are done moving over the area. And then there's more back over parts of northern Mississippi as well. So the cells go all the way really back into Arkansas, and these are all going to keep training off to the northeast over the same area. So eventually we'll transition from a tornado threat to more of a flash flood threat. But right now, the lead storm that came out of Centerville, came out of Linden first with potential, it looked like there was debris in the air there. Then it went over Centerville, then it went through Fairview, or just on the rotation, just on the south side of Fairview, but dumped on the north side a lot of hail in Fairview and some trees down around Cox Pike. Now that cell is what's going through Davidson County. And the shape of it, if you just look at the reflectivity, this is a classic supercell thunderstorm. And let's see if it's trying, the rotation is still there. It's moving, the rotation's about to move over or near the airport. The rotation's coming over Fair Oaks, Colwood Acres. It's about to cross Interstate 24 as it heads off toward the airport. It's between 65 here and 24. So I'll show you where. So here's Interstate 24, here's 65, there's the rotation. Moving through Beverly Heights, Bakertown, will be, there's Harding and 24 right there. And so it's moving over, or very close to where Harding and 24 intersect. There's the airport here. It's moving in a line like this. It'll eventually cross Murfreesboro Road after it crosses over Interstate 24. That's where the rotation is. Still not seeing any clear signs of debris in the air, but it has a definite hook with it. And it looks like it may be shifting. So there's one area of rotation kind of up in here. There's another area of rotation back here. So this is still going over Brentwood. So it's on the east side of Brentwood now. This is going to cross Nolensville Road. There's two areas. This is a new area of rotation. This is the old area. This is a new area of rotation. It's kind of muddy here. Yeah, but this is from the Hopkinsville radar. You can see a better shot of that rotation. Again, it has crossed Interstate 65. It is approaching TriStar Southern. Okay, now there's a new radar update from Hopkinsville. It is right at Harding and Interstate 24 is where that rotation is. So the strongest rotation with this is still up high a little bit. It's still, there's no confirmation of a tornado on the ground with this. The rotation, it's strongly rotating in the mid and upper level parts of the storm. It's not showing a lot of clear rotation in lower levels of the storm. A lot of lightning coming through downtown Nashville now. Could be some hail as well coming through downtown Nashville. And this is moving off toward the northeast and is going to be moving into Sumner and Wilson counties. I think Sumner County, you'll get more of the north side of the storm with potential for hail and maybe some strong straight line winds. Wilson County, you'll be seeing the rotation move over you. Let's see what the... Yeah, so they've expired the warning for Williamson County. That storm is completely out of Williamson County now. There is a new severe thunderstorm warning that does include Fairview. So Fairview, you're under severe thunderstorm warning. This cell over Bon Aqua is going to be moving back up into town. It's got some weak rotation with it, but not strong enough for the Weather Service to issue a tornado warning for it. But you could have at least the potential for some strong straight line winds. I'm going to look at it. So there's your at least mid-level rotation with it, coming over Bon Aqua, headed off toward Fairview. Just a severe thunderstorm warning right now, no tornado warning with it. And then you've got a stronger cell back towards Centerville. You can see that it's got healthy amounts of lightning now. And so it's got healthy updrafts. doesn't have strong rotation like the one in the mid-levels like the one ahead of it does, moving toward Fairview, but it's got a tremendous amount of lightning, so we'll have to watch that one. And here's the cell with that at least mid-level, that's got that strong mid-level rotation. Sorry, I'm listening to storm spotters. It's got the mid-level rotation going off toward the airport. But looking at it, still not showing really strong signs of low-level rotation at this point. Unfortunately, not showing any signs still of any kind of debris in the air from this. But it's got a hook. I mean, there's your rotation right there. Moving toward Colwood, Acres, and Fair Oak. It's really probably right over 24, Interstate 24 right now, and moving. Its next stop will be across Murfreesboro Road. But there's your hook, so it's rotating strongly enough right in through here that it's pulling in that drier air and bending the storm. There it goes over Colwood Acres, the rotation, and it's moving over 24. And it does look like it's trying to form a secondary rotation back near Brentwood on the back side of this cell. Maybe a little bit of rotation there. See what that looks like from the Hopkinsville radar in the mid-levels. Yeah, so the main rotation is still going over the airport, but I do think there could be a secondary rotation. There's going to be a tornado warning coming out for Robertson County, or at least a severe thunderstorm warning for what it's moving over in Robertson County, eastern Robertson County. So I guess it's this area here. Definitely a pretty strong storm up toward Westmoreland. Let's see. So severe thunderstorm warning for Sumner, Trousdale, and Macon County. So that's this storm here, yeah, over Westmoreland. Severe thunderstorm warning there. Cell going through Nashville. It's about the heaviest of the rain, and the hail threat's about to end in downtown, kind of shifting off toward the north and east. I think there's two potential areas of rotation now with the cell, the tornado warning cell in Nashville. You've got one crossing Interstate 24, moving toward Murfreesboro Road near Harding. It's between Harding and Bell Road on Interstate 24. And then this little appendage back toward Brentwood still could be so this storm has they're saying a well-defined wall cloud. Now this is the low-level rotation. This is starting to strengthen again. This is moving. You are on the south side of the airport over Nashboro Village. Here's Murfreesboro. This is Murfreesboro Road near Murfreesboro Road. And Ridge, let's see, Edgeoe Lake Road in Davidson County. That looks like it's starting to strengthen again. So, and there's a well-defined wall cloud with this right now. It's crossed over Interstate 24. Here's Murfreesboro Road, moving toward Nashboro Village. On Nashboro Boulevard and where Nashboro comes into Bell Road. It's going to cross over Smith Springs Road. It's going to, near the intersection of Bell Road and Smith Springs, that's where the rotation is going to be passing. And it does look like on the radar it's starting to strengthen again. Now it's all contaminated right now. Let's see if I can get a little better view of it. This is Hopkinsville, kind of right in this area. There's a well-defined wall cloud with it going over southern Davidson County, right under where it's showing the rotation on radar. So right in here. Right, so this is actually right. So it's going to cross over to, after it goes over Nashboro Village, which it's going over now, it's going to head toward Priest Lake Park, Castlegate Estates, over in there. And then behind that This is a severe thunderstorm warned storm that's moving back into Fairview. Fairview, you're in the hook right now, so it's calm. But here's your storm with at least strong straight line winds. It's still showing some signs of rotation. It's definitely rotating a little stronger in the mid-levels. There's your rotation. There's no tornado warning with it now because it's not showing a really tight low-level rotation with it, but it is definitely rotating as it's moving toward Fairview. And again, there's the hook, and that's probably the center of circulation right there. That's over, it just crossed over 840 coming into Fairview. So it's near 840. It's going to cross over Doug Hill Road and Crowcut Road, Cox Pike. This is just a severe thunderstorm warning, but again, it is rotating. So we'll have to see if they're going to upgrade it to a tornado warning. It's not showing a lot of tight rotation near the ground right now. Most of the rotation, the stronger rotation, is off the ground, but you can see it clearly defined right there. So if the storm can pull down that mid-level rotation into the low levels, you may see another tornado warning issued. But at the very least, you're going to see some strong winds as this crosses over. So severe thunderstorm warning continues for Fairview. Fairview, you're going to see another big storm. And once this part of the storm moves across, you've got another cell back west of Wrigley, stretching really from Wrigley back down into Centerville. This one has a lot of lightning with it, indicating an even stronger updraft. It too has some rotation, but the stronger cell with rotation is coming into Fairview right now with the severe thunderstorm warning. It's just not showing low level, much in the way of organized low level rotation. So this the National Weather Service is issuing that warning for strong winds and the potential for some more hail. Looks like it could be hailing some near Highway 96 and Interstate 40. This is Interstate. Let's see, I'll show you where the interstate is. So this is Interstate 40. There's Highway 96. That's where you could be seeing some hail. This is the leading edge of the storm. There's where the mid-level rotation is, passing over Cox Pike, moving toward the east. But the low level, that rotation is not coming down into the low levels. So severe thunderstorm warning continues here. You just also were issued a flash flood warning for this area too. So Fairview, you're under a flash flood warning as these cells, you've already had one wave of heavy rain with the first cell that came through with the tornado warning. Now you've got cells lined up all the way from Fairview back through Centerville, back to Linden, back into West Tennessee that are going to continue to train over the same areas over and over and over. So Turnbull Creek, we could be seeing rises on the creek there pretty soon. Back into Nashville, tornado warning continues here. This cell with the rotation looks to be crossing out of Davidson County into Wilson County near East Point, and is going to cross over Central Pike. Let's see what other reports we're getting from the... We had a report of a well-defined wall cloud, which is where the tornado would drop from as this was coming across southern Davidson County. Tornado warning continues for Wilson County and Sumner County, but Sumner County, I think the tornado is going to stay out of your area. They just updated the warning. So Wilson County, you're really going to be the one that sees the rotation, not so much Sumner County as this cell passes off to the north and east. Let's see, what the wording is now. Tornado warning remains in effect until 3:45 a.m. Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located over Hermitage, 8 miles east of Nashville. Tornado and golf ball sized hail with radar indicated rotation. New communities that'll be affected by the rotation: Green Hill, not Green Hills, but Green Hill, Madison, Hermitage, Rural Hill, Gallatin, Antioch, Belinda City, Lakewood, Hendersonville. Hendersonville, you're south of the where the rotation is. Now so we're getting some bright spot here in the rotation. So this is where we're likely seeing the strongest rotation, crossing over Stewart's Ferry Pike right now at South Mount Juliet Road. And it's gonna cross over Aubrey Road. It's gonna cross over Central Pike near where Central Pike and Lague Road. It's hard for me to read that, but near Central Pike and see another. Let me get another road here. Beckwith. We're near Central Pike and Beckwith Road meet. And that's a little bit of a bright banding there on the radar from Nashville. So that's likely where you're still seeing at least a wall cloud with it. It's showing up on both the Hopkinsville radar and the Nashville radar. Here's your rotation with the severe thunderstorm warning going right over Fairview. There's no tornado warning with it. It is now moving along Highway 100 east, and it's between Fairview. It's between Whippoorwill Hill and Highway 96 as you go down the hill there, moving off toward the east. No tornado warning, just a severe thunderstorm warning with it, but it's a very healthy cell here. If ever you're back in the heavy rain, you could be seeing some hail with this. Fernvale is just going to clip you, with the worst being to the north. Could be a little bit of hail up toward Pegram too in Kingston Springs. Pegram and Kingston Springs, you are not in a severe thunderstorm warned area. You are in a flash flood warned area as these cells are going to continue to train off to the north and east. Lots of lightning. The lightning's picking up on the cell coming out of Nashville, moving into Wilson County. And we've got two potential areas of circulation. The main circulation, though, is into Wilson County here. Again, crossing South Mount Juliet Road, near South Mount Juliet and North Mount Juliet. That exit, that's a big exit there on Interstate 40. It's going to be crossing over that exit, or just on the south side of it, as it's moving east-northeast. So there's the movement of it. There's your circulation center. There's Interstate 40. So it's going to be passing to the south, likely, of that interchange of Mount Juliet Road and Interstate 40. Still looks to be crossing near South Mount Juliet Road and Central Pike. And just a little earlier, there's a well-defined wall cloud with that, which is where the tornado would be dropping from. See if there's any. Still not showing clear signs of any debris in the air or anything like that, so that's good news. So this is going to be an active rest of the night. The tornado warnings now are focused back to the west. We'll have to watch those cells as they move northeast along this boundary. But this is going to go on for several more hours as we go through the morning hours. The Weather Service, a few minutes ago, one of the local TV stations had a wall cloud on the camera in Nolensville. Again, that was as the storm was passing over there. Now it's well to the northeast of there. They're looking at the rotation that's just passed over Fairview. They're watching that. Again, it's not showing up in the low levels. It's showing up in the mid levels, which means it's off the ground, not coming down to the ground, which is good. I mean, if you're going to have a rotating storm. So there is some low level rotation now, a little better showing up here. Let's see if how well that coincides with, yeah. So there's the Hopkinsville radar. There's the core of Fairview. The rotation is passing over Highway 100 and Highway 96 west of Franklin. And that's from the Hopkinsville radar. Let's take a look at it from the Nashville radar. Again, starting to show a little better low-level rotation. This is going to be moving over Bellevue. So no tornado warning right now, but it's possible the Weather Service could issue a tornado warning for Davidson County again. Just have to watch. So there's your circulation coming out of western Williamson County into western Davidson County. And this circulation is going to be moving over Bellevue. So Bellevue heads up, no tornado warning, no even severe thunderstorm warning, but a rotating storm is going to be pushing over you. The rotation is showing up on two separate radars. This one is mid to upper level rotation. And now it looks like the Nashville radar may be starting to see some low level rotation re-strengthen. All right, so it's there, but it doesn't look very strong on the new radar update. So the radar just updated. So there's Highway 100. This is Highway 100. The rotation is on the north side of Highway 100 as you head out. So there's Harpeth Hills Memorial Gardens. If you go north of there, near, well, really where South Harpeth and Poplar Creek Road meet, that's where the rotation is passing over right now. Again, no severe thunderstorm warning or tornado warning with it. There's a flash flood warning, but we do have a rotating storm moving over that area, so just be mindful of that in these areas. Fairview, the second cell that was behind that one, is also rotating. You still are under a severe thunderstorm warning. Here's a rotating cell. It's not very strong, but let's take a look at it in the mid-levels. So this is the lead cell moving right over South Harpeth Road near Harpeth Memorial Gardens. No severe thunderstorm warning here, but I think they're probably going to issue one here coming up. And then here's your second cell over Bon Aqua that's got some rotation about to come back into Fairview. Fairview, you are under a severe thunderstorm warning. And then there's a new cell that they just issued a tornado warning for coming out of Perry County into Hickman County. So Centerville, you're back under a tornado warning. You already had one strongly rotating cell come over you. That was the one that's now into Wilson County earlier. The cell that's rotating for the tornado warning is back over Linden. There's your rotation. Let's take a look at it from a couple different locations here, a couple different radars. This is in kind of a radar hard spot to see because there's no close radars. So the radar beam's pretty high up at this point over Linden. But there's your rotation passing right over Linden. Tornado warning with that. And it's going to be passing Chestnut Grove, Pleasantville, and headed right back to Centerville. So we've got this boundary that's set up. And that boundary is right, I mean, it's clearly defined, southwest and northeast. And these cells are just going to keep rolling and running along this boundary that's only just creeping eastward very slowly. And these cells are going to ride along that boundary, giving us more warnings, but also very heavy rains in those areas where it moves over. New severe thunderstorm warning for that cell that's coming into Bellevue. They're choosing at this time not to issue a tornado warning, but not to issue a tornado warning, but a severe thunderstorm warning for it. Let's take a look at the rotation. It's still rotating. We'll get an update here in just a moment. So this is Highway 100, or excuse me, Interstate 40 coming through Bellevue. And that rotation is going to be passing, again, severe thunderstorm warning, not a tornado warning, but a storm with potential for some strong winds as it's rotating. It'll be passing over Newsom Station, moving along Interstate 40, and just on the south side of Interstate 40, crossing McCrory Lane, and is going to come into the heart of Bellevue here in just a few minutes. So you are under, I want to make that clear though, you're under severe thunderstorm warning. You're not under a tornado warning, but the storm is rotating. Yeah, it has both it's definitely got mid-level rotation, and it's also showing some signs of low-level rotation, but nothing reported on the ground. So you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. Taking a look here. So that storm now is along Interstate 40, that rotation with the potential for the strongest winds. I think the rotation is strengthening as it's moving into Bellevue. Again, around Interstate 40 and McCrory Lane, it's pretty much passing over Interstate 40 at Highway 70 right now. So the main Bellevue interchange for the mall and all that. And that rotation might be strengthening, getting stronger. Severe thunderstorm warning. I'm sure that the Weather Service is watching that very carefully. That's going to be moving into downtown Nashville, so we'll see if they update that to a tornado warning. Bellevue, it's coming across right now. Very heavy rains, likely very gusty winds coming in. There's the rotation crossing over the interstate at 1 Bellevue Place, and it's going to be moving into, next up, Westmead, Belmead, into downtown Nashville. We'll see if they issue a tornado warning with it. Right now, just a severe thunderstorm warning, but just to show you, this is your low-level rotation. It's not right next to each other. It's not super tight, but it's there. Could be strengthening, could be going under a strengthening phase. And then here's your mid-level rotation that's showing up. So it's rotating in the mid-levels, rotating in the low levels, but not quite strong enough in the low levels for the Weather Service to pull the trigger on a tornado warning. But you've got a severe thunderstorm warning, likely going to see hail and high winds at the very least, or gusty winds at the very least. And again, with that cell, you've already seen one come through. This is the second cell. The lead cell is now well into Wilson County, approaching Lebanon. It's still showing rotation as well. Looks like the strongest rotation with it now is on the north side of Interstate 40. So here's Interstate 40. This is Highway 70. It's crossing Highway 70. It just crossed over just a few minutes ago as it Hickory Ridge Road and it's on the north side of the interstate now near Carroll Bend. So there's Highway 70, Lebanon Road in Wilson County. So heads up Lebanon, this cell is going to be moving through the north side. The rotation is going to be moving on the north side of Lebanon. Tornado warning continues for that storm. Let's see what it looks like in the lower levels. There's your rotation right there, right in here. There's the downtown square. So this rotation will be passing on the north side. Martha, Lagardo, Oakland, moving toward Hunters Point. But there's your rotation. There have been reports of wall clouds with that. And then back to the west. Here's your rotation coming through Bellevue. We should get another update on that here in just a moment. Again, it looked like the rotation was trying to strengthen in the low levels. Now it's weakened again. So the Weather Service is likely just going to hold it as a severe thunderstorm warning as it comes up Highway 70, the Interstate 40, Highway 70, and Highway 100. It's coming into Westmead now, the strongest part of the storm. And there's your rotation right in here. So it's going to come through Westmead into Belmead and then go up toward Vandy on the west side, southwest side of downtown. Fairview, you're still under a severe thunderstorm warning, getting a lot of heavy rain. You've had quite a bit of rain already, and then taking a little bit of a hook shape on this storm coming through Fairview. See, I'm sure it's going to show some at least mid-level rotation with it. Yeah, so there's your mid-level rotation. Nothing tight at the ground, but you're going to see the potential for more strong, at least straight line winds. Let's take a look at some of the latest information from the 109 in Wilson County. Let's see. Taking a look to see if there's any. Yeah, so this storm is going to be passing into, the rotation right now is up here, north of Lebanon, but it looks like could be reforming to the south. So in Lebanon, you need to make sure that you're in your safe spot already as the cell is moving through the area. Let's see. We'll take a look at. A little earlier, they had evacuated some of the hotels in downtown Nashville down to the basement. Let's see here. Let's see. Just looking at some information from the National Weather Service and from some other sources. Seeing what's out there. They had evacuated some of the. Let me mute this. So several cells are out there right now, and will continue affecting us for seeing what's out there quite a while. They had evacuated for several more hours, giving us more and more of a flood threat. So several cells are out there right now. And we will see off and on periods of these affecting us. These storms, they will at times be severe, quite a while. And so we'll continue to get warnings for the next few hours as well. A flood threat. So several cells are out there right now. And we will see off and on periods of. Here's your lead cell. This came through Nashville. That's why at times a lot of you in downtown, or some of you in downtown Nashville earlier, were evacuated in hotels down in the basement. This is in Wilson County, passing over Lebanon. The strongest part of the storm is on the north side of Lebanon. This came through Nashville. Looks like a new circulation has tried to form downtown. Farther south, it's going to go through downtown Lebanon. So there's the cells here in Lebanon. From Lebanon north, you're in your safe spot. This is the new cell coming into downtown. Okay, they just issued a tornado warning. So we have a new tornado warning for Nashville. This is the cell that had the rotation that we were watching going through Bellevue. Lebanon weekend, Lebanon north, you're in your safe spot. But it's right here. It's coming in through Westmead. Okay, and doesn't look particularly strong on the radar, but for Nashville, because it's going to be passing through downtown Nashville, I think the Weather Service decided to go ahead and issue a tornado warning for it. Now here's the way it looks from the Hopkinsville radar. It is definitely clearly rotating. This storm came out of Fairview. This is the second storm, the second rotating storm that came out of Fairview, came through Bellevue, now is going into downtown Nashville. So a new tornado warning has been issued, and you may be sent back to the basement of some of these hotels again. The second storm, the second rotating storm that came out of rotation, came through Bellevue, and now is going into downtown Nashville. So a new tornado warning has been issued. The cell for the tornado warning that's going through Nashville now extends back toward the second storm, the second rotating Fairview. You're back Fairview. You're on the back edge of the heaviest of this cell. You've got another cell back over Bon Aqua, and you've got the cell for the tornado warning storm back west of that. Now extends back toward Linden. And man, there's very heavy rains moving over the same locations here. And then you've got more tornado warning storms back over southwest Tennessee. So this tornado warning storm back west of that has two areas of rotation with it. You've got one that's coming up through Westmead. It's now moving up toward Vanderbilt. And then you've got more tornado warning storms. But it also has rotation. A hook is developed here back over Fernvale that's going to pass over back west of that. Again, has two areas of rotation with it. Highway 96 at Old Hillsborough Road. Coming up through Westmead. It's now moving up toward Vanderbilt. And then you've got more tornado warning storms. But it also has rotation is right there. It's not super clear on radar. Let me read you the warning for Nashville. Highway 96 at Old Hillsborough Road. This is a radar indicated tornado warning. Davidson County, southwestern Sumner, north central Williamson is right there. It's not in northwestern Wilson. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing tornado located over Belmead near Nashville, moving northeast. It will move into downtown Nashville. Radar indicated tornado warning. Davidson County, southwestern Sumner, north central Williamson is right there. It's not in northwestern Wilson. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing tornado located over this cell near Nashville, moving northeast. It will move into downtown Nashville. This cell has two areas of rotation going across, about to move across Bandy, crossing 840, moving into Vandy. No, it's not 840, 440, moving into Vandy, downtown. This cell, and then it's got this northeast. It will move into downtown Nashville. This cell has two areas of rotation going. A secondary area of rotation coming across, crossing 840 to the southwest, across Fernvale and across Kingfield again. It's going to cross downtown Highway 96 near Old Hillsborough Road. There is the tornado warning for the rotation going into downtown Nashville, but there is a secondary rotation with this cell that's developing, and I think you've got more hail developing, probably golf ball size hail near Highway 100 and Highway 96 that's going to move into Bellevue. So Bellevue, look for potential for more hail to develop in the next 10 minutes or so. Meanwhile, back here, see what the rotation looks like. There's your rotation. Highway 96 that's going to move. It's going to pass right into downtown Nashville. Potential for more hail to develop in the next 10 minutes or so. Rotation is tightened up back here. Back over Bellevue. They issued a tornado warning. There's your rotation. Highway 96 that's going to move. It's going to pass right into downtown. Tornado warning continues for Lewis, Hickman, and Perry County. We've been watching that. 10 minutes. So rotation is tight. There's your rotation. Let me see what it looks like from the tornado warning. Hopkinsville radar. It's going to pass going right into downtown Nashville. No confirmation of a tornado right now for that cell. It's about to cross. Again, going into Vandy radar. Going right into downtown. There's your rotation. No confirmation over St. Thomas West for that cell. It's about to cross. Oh, here's another tornado warning. So this is going to be for the tornado. There's your rotation. No confirmation. Yeah, Fairview, you're going to be included in this. This is what that rotation that I said was developing back toward Fairview. There, it just popped up. So this is going to be two tornado warnings with this cell. The one rotation is going into downtown Nashville. This is the second rotation. There, it just popped up. So this is going to be. So two tornado warnings with this cell. This is going to cross. So this rotation is going to cross over. Rotation is going into downtown east of Kingfield. The second crossing over Big East Fork now, and it's going to cross over Highway 96. Two tornado warnings near. This is going to cross. So this rotation is going to cross over. Here's Old Hillsborough and here's Natchez Trace somewhere through there. Over Big East Fork. Now, and it's going to cross over Highway 96. So we've got two tornado warnings with this particular cell. This rotation is going to cross over. Here's downtown Nashville. There's your hook going over Vanderbilt right now, moving toward the heart of downtown. It's going to the inner circle, the inner loop there. So we've got two tornado warnings. This is the other. So this is hail. The purple areas are hail. Downtown Highway 100, about to go into Pasco, near toward the Corey Lane and Highway 100, near the Loveless Circle, the inner loop there. So we've got tornado warning. This is the other. Did have a wind gust of 60 miles an hour areas of hail as it passed over Highway 100 in Brush Creek Road to Pasco, near toward the Corey Lane and Highway 100 near the Loveless. There was a little earlier wind gust of 60 miles some trees down on the south side of Nashville with the first hail. But I think your focus, so we've got those two areas of rotation. I think this focus, though, this is going to be the dominant part of the rotation. Yeah, a little earlier south side. Some trees down on the south side of Nashville. So right in here. But I think your focus, so we've got those two areas of rotation. I think this focus, though, we've got a strong hook developing on the south side. So this is the tornado warning now. It looks again, Franklin, it looks like it's going to pass just north. It's going to pass areas of rotation. I think this focus, though, it's going to should be passing developing on the south just west of West Haven. Warning now between West Haven and the Natchez Trace. It looks is where that rotation is going to be passing. Like it's going to pass just north. It's going to pass areas of rotation. I think this focus right in here. It's kind of a messy look to it. Just west of where that rotation came out of Fairview between West Haven and the Natchez Trace. Measured wind gusts in Fairview of 60 miles an hour as that came across. This is the mid-level rotation with it here going over Highway 90. Kind of a messy look to it. Just west of where that rotation came out of Fairview between West Haven. And there are more rotating storms back to the west. So we may continue to get tornado warnings here for mid-level rotation with it here the next few hours in these same areas. Just west of where that rotation came out of Fairview between West Haven. And there are more rotating storms. This is a massive supercell thunderstorm coming into Nashville, downtown Nashville. Tornado rotations passing directly over downtown Bridgestone Arena in these same areas. What's left over of it. I can hear the tornado. This is a massive going off in Franklin, but Franklin, I think, downtown Nashville, tornado rotations passing. The rotation is going to be passing north with this cell, with this tornado warning. You're on the very south side of the warning. I can hear the tornado like this sirens going off in Franklin. So there's Franklin. Cell is going to be passing northeast. Rotation is going to be passing north, moving back toward Brentwood. So Brentwood, you're going to get another very south side of the rotation moving over you. Going off in Franklin. So there's Franklin. Cell is going to be passing northeast. Rotation is going to be passing north, moving back toward Brentwood. So Brentwood, you're going to get another very south. Let's see. So we've had lots of hail in Fairview. Let's see. Checking some information here. So we've had lots of hail in Fairview. Apparently some doubling of my audio, so I'm going to stop the stream and restart it. Okay. So back, hopefully that fixed my audio. I was getting reports that my audio was doubling up. So I stopped the stream briefly and have restarted. And hopefully that fixed it. So here's the wide view of what's going on. Once again, we've got trains of cells moving over the same areas over and over and over. We've got several tornado warnings lined up along this boundary, and the boundary is not moving, so we're seeing multiple tornado warnings in the same place over and over and over. So I've had some folks asking about grassland. So you are going to be seeing this rotation that's going to be coming through this rotation with the new tornado warning here that is going to pass over grassland. Now, Again, we don't have any reports of anything on the ground. And for you in Grassland, this latest rotation is passing over, again, Barry's Chapel and Hillsborough Road. You've already heard me say it at least once tonight with the first storm, but this is what we've got going on. So multiple waves of storms. So rotation, let me show you from the Hopkinsville radar where that rotation is. So Hillsborough Road, and so Grassland, that rotation is passing over you. No confirmation of a tornado, but you're in your tornado safe spot. There's the hook. There's Barry's Chapel and Hillsborough Road, and then just north of there is Grassland. It's going to pass over Sunnyside Estates near the intersection of Hillsborough Road and Poplar Creek and Sneed. And then that's going to move right toward Brentwood again. So the cell is kind of changing shape. It's kind of morphing. We've got these areas of rotation that pop up and then kind of shift in through parts of the storm as different parts of the storm strengthen and weaken and then strengthen again. So the rotation that was in the north part of the storm that went over downtown is right in here moving across Rosebank. Looks like some really strong straight line winds between Rosebank and the airport moving into East Nashville. The rotation here will cross over Lakewood for that tornado warning in Nashville. It is through downtown Nashville, so the worst is past downtown Nashville. Then the secondary rotation with that cell is again crossing over Hillsborough Road near the intersection of Sneed and Hillsborough there in Grassland. There are more cells back to the west. Fairview, you're getting another cell. Let me tell you, Fairview, you got to watch your creeks there. All those little creeks through Fairview, like Turnbull and all through there, they are rapidly rising. You are under a flash flood warning. You've also seen multiple waves of hail. And Fairview, you got to watch this cell back towards Centerville, back Highway 100. It's showing signs. There's a tornado warning with it. So the tornado warning it includes Prim Springs right now, back toward Pinewood School, intersection of Pinewood and 100, where the little tornado went a couple days ago, over by Frank Walker's house with all the trees down right there. It's this cell. You've got another cell coming up that's likely going to be affecting the same areas coming out of Centerville. So I have to watch and see as it moves northeast if they continue that warning, because if they do, you've got another cell coming in from Centerville. The tornado warning, you can see how they're oriented around Fairview. One just to the east, that's the one going over Grassland, the rotation going over Grassland, and then you've got another cell with a rotation back over Centerville. So in Centerville, by the way, it's going to be very close to downtown, that rotation, so you need to be sheltered, especially Centerville South. Dean, Swan Bluff, Watson, down in there, likely getting some at least small hail in Centerville now. Back into Fairview and Brush Creek. Brush Creek's rising, I'm sure, as well. Very heavy rains here coming through Fairview. This cell does not have a tornado warning with it, but does have a severe thunderstorm warning with it. And then back into the cell that's going through Grassland. 438. There's your rotation going over Grassland right now. See what the Weather Service is saying. Last thing so they're still seeing rotation in southern Hickman County. They issued this tornado warning here for that cell. Heavy rains from Prim Springs back into Fairview. The north rotation going over Lakewood and Davidson County. The south rotation going over Grassland in Williamson County. There's your hook with that. So multiple potential tornadoes here. So it's going to continue to be really the rest of the morning. We're going to see this train of storms along this boundary that has stalled. And again, we've been talking about this, how number one, the boundary would stall. That would provide the focusing mechanism for these trains of storms to run along. And that's exactly what we're seeing. So we've got a tornado warning for Trousdale County, with the worst of the rotation passing just south of Hartsville there. Tornado warning for Nashville with rotation that is passed over Lakewood and is going into the Hendersonville area. Right in here. It's hard to see and it's kind of contaminated right now, the radar, but there's let me pop this on for you. So there's the rotation going over Brentwood. Tornado warning here. That's going to be crossing Interstate 65. It's going very close to near where Granny White Pike and Old Hickory Boulevard come together there, and it's going to be crossing Interstate 65 in the next few minutes. Tornado warning here. All these areas, these green areas. Let's see if you're seeing. Let me show you where I'm. So there's your rotation over Brentwood. All of these areas are strong straight line winds at least. So this is coming, this is between Franklin and Fairview along Highway 96. Strong straight line wind potential back toward Prim Springs. Crossing over Pinewood Road, strong straight line potential. And then this is rotation with the tornado warning on the south side of Centerville. And then we've got more tornado warnings back all the way back into Savannah. So here are your tornado warnings right now in the red boxes. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 for our area right now. The most defined rotations are going south of Hartsville, now southeast of Hartsville, between Hartsville and Carthage. Defined rotation approaching Hendersonville, coming out of Lakewood. Defined rotation going over Brentwood, approaching Brentwood. New rotation may be developing south of Fairview. A defined rotation with hail going through Centerville, and rotation on the south side of Centerville, approaching Bond and Shady Grove. Along highway, it's going to cross over Highway 50, right there. And so multiple waves of storm. This is just going to continue. And let me tell you, in those areas where it's been raining now for a few hours, the creeks are coming up out of their banks, and we're going to start to get reports of flooding, and flash flood warnings are in effect for those areas. Taking a look at the Weather Service info here. 254. It's 354. Getting lots of reports of hail. A couple of reports of some trees down. There was quarter-sized hail a few minutes ago in Temple Hills. I hear more sirens going off. Probably Franklin. So they're continuing the tornado warning for this cell in Centerville, right here. So that storm, it looks like it's the hail core is weakening a little bit. This is that tornado warning. Let's go ahead and read it. So tornado warning remains in effect until 4:15 for south central Dixon, northwestern Murray, southwestern Williamson, and eastern Hitman County. Storm capable of producing a tornado located near Centerville or just to the south, moving northeast at 55 miles an hour, and radar indicated. So that's it right there. You notice there was some purple right there. That was hail. Seems to have faded just a little bit. There's still likely hail just on the south side of Highway 100 around Graytown. The rotation, this is Highway 50 right there. And that rotation is going to cross over Highway 50 near the intersection of Wilkes BR Road branch. Can't tell if that's Willie's or Wilkes Branch Road in Hickman County. Bruce McCaleb Road and George Road. That's where that rotation's going to, near Highway 50. That's where the rotation in Hickman County is going to pass over. Let's take a look at it in the low levels here. So yeah, it's right there. Crossing Highway 50 now, near Little Lot. It's going to go into Little Lot. And then it's going to move back over Prim Springs. And it's going to come right back into the southwestern corner of Williamson County. So Pinewood Road, Shoals Branch Road, Westlick Creek Road, Northlick Creek Road, Pewitt Road, all through there. It's gonna cross over the Mill Seat. So that's where the rotation is right now. It's going to be moving northeast. So there's the southwestern corner of Williamson County. That cell, the rotation's coming across Little Lot, then into Prim Springs on the Hickman County side, the old ghost town, and then we'll come up into the northwestern corner of Murray County, around Kinderhook and the Mill Seat, and then we'll come up into the Prim Springs side of Williamson County if it continues on its current track. And there's the rotation right there. Let me take a look at it from Hopkinsville and see if it shows as well. Yeah, it's right there. So that tornado warning continues. So let's take a look at what they're going to issue a new tornado warning for the storm near Hendersonville. We're still seeing there's the rotation with it. We've been talking about that. Passing right over the radar too. And there you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cells, and almost all of those are either tornado warned or severe warned. So here's the situation. Here's the big view again. If you're in Columbia, if you're in Murfreesboro, Smyrna, Carthage, you've had basically, except for Carthage a little bit, Murfreesboro, Columbia, you've had no rain at all. It's been in this line that is stalled out over Nashville from Lafayette to Hendersonville to Nashville, Bellevue, Fairview, Centerville, northwest side of Franklin. These cells will continue to train over the same areas. Now they should gradually weaken, but they're holding their own right now. We've had multiple tornado warnings from the Weather Service. I don't think we've had, except for some trees down in spots in Davidson counties, a lot of reports of hail from Fairview back to Bellevue, back to Centerville. And they're extending the tornado watch for this area until 6 a.m. So new tornado watch, or extending the tornado watch until 6 a.m. to account for this line where we keep seeing these embedded areas of rotation. Now back over to our west, over Arkansas, over Missouri, earlier tonight, we had massive tornadoes from the same system. Now we're seeing storms with kind of embedded in the line with these transient areas of rotation that could produce these spin-up tornadoes. And rotation, the rotation in Centerville that's coming through Little Lot to Prim Springs doesn't look as strong as it did a minute ago. And that's what happens pretty common with these cells embedded within a line like this. So that's mid-level rotation is pretty strong coming out of Little Lot going into Prim Springs. So Prim Springs, you're next in line. That's the mid-level rotation. The low-level rotation is there, but doesn't look as strong. Let's take a look and see if it has any signals of debris. Not overly impressive with that, but there's your rotation, there's your hook. There's Prim Springs in Hickman County, Highway 7. So it's going to pass between Fly and Hilltown and Prim Springs if it continues on that current track. It's still got that well-defined hook. Again, a hook, we talk about the hook, it's got that C shape to it, and it's as it's rotating, it's pulling in drier air on the south and east side of the storm, and it bends the storm in. And so, and usually right kind of on the west and southwest side of that hook is where you see potential for the tornado. Now, this one actually is developing a new hook back south of it around Bond. So again, that's what we've also seen. We've seen a lot of these storms develop these secondary rotations. Now, boy, that is a big, big, big uptick in the rotation. That is a significant uptick in the rotation. If that continues, there's likely a tornado on the ground here. There could be some signs of debris there. It's really a messy signature, but that is a strong hook going over Jones Valley in Hickman County, about to cross into the northwestern corner of Murray County. So it's going over Prim Springs Road right now, Webb Hollow Road. It's going to cross over Highway 7 right up here. That is a significant uptick. All right, let's see. That is a significant rotation sign right there. Let's see if it's looking. That is a healthy rotation sign, and that ramped up really quickly. The radar is pointing this out as a strong rotation, strong low-level rotation. It's hard to see, but I wouldn't be surprised if either a tornado is on the ground or it's imminent here, going right over Johnson's Mill. That's Leatherwood Road, near where Leatherwood Road, where Natchez Trace Parkway and Leatherwood Road are. It's going over Highway. It's going to go over Highway 7, very, very close to Fly. And once it moves through there, the next stop, this is the southwestern corner of Williamson County. It's going to go up into Prim Springs, Greenbrier Road. It's going to go up into White Oak. It's going to ride along the Natchez Trace. And if that continues, it's going to go up into Leaper's Fork. So now, one thing that we have seen with these is they're kind of transient. They're really strong for a few minutes and then they weaken. But right now it is definitely in an up cycle here. We'll see what the next radar scan holds for this. But this is your new system. This would be more of a threat for Franklin if it held together. There is a tornado warning for it. There's your hook. Fly, Kinderhook. This is Highway 7. It's coming out of Johnson's Mill. It's going to cross Highway 7 near 7 and Natchez Trace, old Natchez Trace right through there. All right, let's see if there's the velocity. Again, waiting for the velocity update. Taking a look at so we're seeing multiple tornado warnings from the National Weather Service in the same place over and over and over. So I've had some folks asking about, let's see here, grassland. So you are going to be seeing this rotation that's going to be coming. So I've had some folks asking about, let's see here, looking for some data from the Weather Service there. All right, so this doesn't look as strong as it did just a second ago, but it's still a significant sign of rotation. Crossing highway, about to cross Highway 7. It's along the Natchez Trace, near the Natchez Trace and Highway 7. And all right, so northwestern corner of Murray County. This doesn't look as strong as it did just a second ago, but it's still a significant sign of rotation. Crossing highway, about to cross Highway 7. It's along the Natchez Trace, near the Natchez Trace and Highway 7. And all right, there's your hook. Northwestern corner of Murray County. This doesn't look as strong as it did just a second ago, but it's still a significant Highway 7, Natchez Trace, old Natchez Trace, right through there. About to cross Highway 7. It's going to be coming up into the southwestern corner of, there's your hook, Williamson County. This doesn't look as strong as it did just a second ago, but it's still Highway 7, Natchez Trace, old Natchez Trace, right through there. So zooming back out, it's going to be coming up into the southwestern corner. So there's your very close to the intersection of Natchez Trace and Highway 7. There, it's a fairly rural area, beautiful area though. Natchez Trace, right through there. So zooming back out, it's going to be coming up into the southwestern. Here's your cell. Very close to the intersection. How these Natchez Trace and Highway 7. Cells are really morphing and shaping, and then the rotation centers travel almost down the storms. Here's your cell. Very close to the interesting how these traditional supercell thunderstorms kind of take a shape and cells are going to stay that way for a long period of time. These are morphing. The healthiest one right now looks to be the one really back over the northwestern corner of Murray County, coming out of Hickman County. It's going to cross into the southwestern corner of Williamson County. These are near where the Leapers Creek comes into Highway 7, near there, and Natchez Trace out of Hickman County. It's going to cross into the parkway, goes over 840 County. These are near where the Leapers Creek comes into Highway 7. So near there, that's an area watching carefully. This cell coming through Davidson County, going over the airport, but it's got a new circulation. Looks like it's trying to form near where the Leapers Creek moving over Brentwood. For right now, it looks like it's probably strong straight line winds. This trying to move down to Brentwood, going over the airport. Take a look here, yeah. So this is from the Hopkinsville radar. Strong straight line winds moving toward Lebanon, moving over Brentwood. For right now, it looks like it's probably strong straight line winds. Oakland and Lebanon. That is a strong straight line wind signature there. Radar. Strong and then these embedded rotations. Lebanon. Not particularly strong, but an embedded rotation going over Brentwood. Another mid-level rotation. Lebanon. That is for western Williamson County, but this was the stronger rotation. And these embedded rotations. Lebanon. Not particularly strong, but an embedded rotation going over Fly right now. So there's Highway 7. It's crossing Highway 7. Just crossed near County, but this was the stronger rotation. Where Natchez Trace goes over Highway 7. Particularly strong, but an embedded rotation going over Fly right now. So there's Highway 7. It's crossing Highway 7. Just crossed near County, but this was the stronger rotation. Where Natchez Trace goes over Highway 7. The audio's doubling up again. Let's see if that helps. See if that helps the audio there. All right, I know the audio is doubling up a little bit. That should hopefully have cured it. Got a new tornado warning that I'll be covering here in just a moment. Giving us some time for the audio to reset. Hopefully the doubling is going away. I know the audio doubled up a little bit there. Okay. So I think I know what's causing that, so I think I know how to keep that from happening now. All right. So we have a new tornado warning. This is Davidson, Murray, Williamson, Hickman. This is the storm we were just talking about. This is the storm that's crossing over Fly. This is the cell right here. You can see the rotation. This is the one where the rotation ramped up really fast. It's still fairly tight here. So it's coming over Bethel. It's crossing out of Murray County into Williamson County around Smarden. That's, again, near the intersection of Leapers Creek and Highway 7. Leapers Creek obviously goes into Leapers Fork and turns into Old Hillsboro. That's where it looks like that rotation is going. There's a secondary rotation maybe up toward the mill seat. So these cells have been very interesting case studies, really, but it looks like there could be some small hail, at least small hail, going over Barn Hill Road, Westlick Creek, Shoals Branch, about to go over Shoals Branch. It's really focused on Barn Hill Road, not too far from where Barn Hill and Westlick Creek intersect. Could be some hail there. The rotation is south of there, though. The rotation is in this area, again, near the intersection of Leapers Creek and Highway 7. So that's why your tornado warning. So that tornado warning does include the city of Franklin. You may hear the sirens go off in Franklin once again. And this train of cells continues to put down really heavy amounts of rainfall in the same area. So we have flash flood warnings lined up basically from Linden to Centerville to Fairview to Bellevue to Nashville now. Franklin, you've been right on the very, very edge of it. I think you are going to get into the rain with this next wave, with this new tornado warning. But, and then there's another pretty strong cell that's approaching Hohenwald back to the west with a severe thunderstorm warning there. But this is the cell that has the tornado warning for Williamson County. This one's moving toward Franklin if it holds together. And what we've seen is the rotation tightens, it gets strong, it'll stay that way for a few minutes, then it'll kind of broaden out and weaken again, and then it'll cycle and tighten up again. So, but here's your rotation. And sometimes it's almost easier in these kind of situations to look at it from this way. So Leapers Fork is up here. This is Leapers Creek Road. This is where it came into Highway 7 back here. And then there's Leapers Creek Road. So it's passed over that. In this area right in here where the rotation is, it's going to pass very close to Leapers Fork. And if it holds together, we'll come into Franklin. Fairview, you're north of this rotation. You're in the tornado warning, but you're north of that rotation. So lots of heavy rain on the north side of it, maybe some hail again. There still could be some hail. It's crossing, the hail is crossing 840 and Pewitt Road. There could be some hail in that area. We've seen some very heavy rains in the Pewitt Road area. Look out for the South Harpeth there to be on the rise down below Pewitt, where Pewitt comes into South Harpeth Creek there. Shoals Branch Creek, look for, and Lick Creek, right in there in the southwestern corner of Williamson County, look for rising waters there. You're under a flash flood warning. North Lick Creek. All right, the rotation is about to come into the Boston area on Leapers Creek Road. Let's take a look, see how well defined it is. It's still defined. It's right here. So this is going to come up into Franklin. Take a look and see if there's, not seeing any strong signs of debris with it. And that when it was back here, I'll show you, let me put this into motion for you. Right through there, that rotation was really tight as it passed near Prim Springs across Johnson's Mill into Kinderhook over parts of Hickman and Murray counties. And that rotation continues now. There's some radar contamination going on, but the rotation is right there, about to pass over Boston. And there's 840 where Natchez Trace and 840 cross. It's going to ride up very close to Leapers Fork. Very close to Leapers Fork. So on the north side of it, getting some heavy rains around Settlers Point. Kingfield, more heavy rain for you. Fernvale, more heavy rain for you. Fairview, I think your situation is going to get a little better. I mean, as far as the tornado warnings, so we keep seeing these tornado warnings for Fairview, but Fairview, you're on the north side of the boundary now. So the boundary where all these storms are kind of feeding off of this warm, rich air to the south. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. This warm, rich air to the south here, the boundary is set up to your south now. And so the biggest storms are going to ride right along the edge of that boundary. And Fairview, you're kind of on the north side of the boundary now. So you're going to continue to see storms. You're going to continue to hear thunder. But hopefully the areas of rotation now are going to start passing just to your south, although that puts areas like Franklin more in line with seeing rotation. We're going to watch this cell with the tornado warning coming out of Prim Springs and moving near Leapers Fork. And then there's a cell behind it. It's severe thunderstorm warned right now, but it has rotation. It's got a hook developing right in here. It's going to move into Hohenwald. Severe thunderstorm warning, no tornado warning right now, but it's got a hook developing. That's going to come across those same areas and potentially in the next hour be back over Franklin. So the good news is right now the Weather Service is choosing, instead of to continue to issue tornado warnings with these, even though they have some mid-level rotation and at times low-level rotation, they're starting to choose to transition more to severe thunderstorm warnings. So we have severe thunderstorm warnings now for Salina, Lafayette, rather than tornado warnings. Hartsville, the same thing. Lebanon, the same thing. Nashville, no tornado warning in effect for you right now. The tornado warning is back toward Franklin. Let's see here. Got overlapping audio again. Just trying to get rid of that. Not sure why it's doing that. Sorry, I know that's annoying to listen to as you're trying to listen to this. Hopefully it'll go away here. So tornado warning continues for Williamson County, including the city of Franklin. Rotation passing across Sycamore and Burwood. It looks like the worst will be passing to the south, a little bit to the south of Leapers Fork. but it will ride along Carter's Creek. So right now that rotation is along Bear Creek Road and should be passing very close to where Bear Creek and Carter's Creek come together. That's where the rotation is passing over, or will be very close to. And there may be a new rotation trying to form near Santa Fe. I can hear a lot of wind in the mid-levels there up above me. So there's the wide view, there's the training of the echoes. And we may be transitioning from a tornado threat now to more and more of a severe thunderstorm threat and a flood threat. So my audio is still doubling. I'm going to stop the stream